do I make sure my pension is right? Hey, I am Chuck the Bureaucrat, and today what I want to do is talk to you about how to check your initial military retiree account statement to make sure that it is correct. That means checking your allotments, your federal and state withholding, your CRDP, your survivor benefit program, and your TRICARE. To get started, it's important to understand that you're going to receive your military pension from the Defense Finance and Accounting Service, DFAS. And these are the same people who have been paying you while you've been on active duty. Of course, when you were on active duty, you were getting a leave and earnings statement. And now that you're retired, you'll get what's called a retiree account statement. Now, normally, it takes DFAS like 30 to 45 days to get a retiree account statement set up. And remember that you are receiving your payments in arrears. That means that you'll receive your payment for May on the 1st of June. So when you finally get that first retiree statement, you want to make sure that everything is correct. Step one is just logging on to MyPay. And I'm going to reiterate the fact that you should set up your username, password, and contact information before you lose access to your CAC. If you want the full rundown on what I'm talking about, watch this video and I'll put the link in the description. Once you log on to MyPay, you have to go over to your retiree account statement. And I am not sure why this doesn't become the default setting, but it's just an extra step. All right, the first thing to check is your allotments. These can get messed up when DFAS builds your RAS. Some allotments will get carried over from your LES, and at the same time, others can get dropped. You get the sense that there's some set of rules about what transfers and what doesn't, but you're better off just checking. The next thing to check is your survivor benefit program payments. And I've never heard of anybody having difficulty with this one, but the fact that you can only opt into this program right when you retire means that if there is a problem, you want to catch it fast. While we're looking at payments, it's a good idea to check that your TRICARE premium is coming out along with your dental and your vision. The real thing to be paying attention to here is that the windows for enrollment in these programs, they're kind of narrow. So if you want to be enrolled, but for some reason it's not showing up in your pay, you want to fix that quickly. Okay, the next thing that you want to check is your federal and state withholding. And really your state withholding. There's a lot of retirees who, while they were on active duty, they claimed home of record in a state that didn't have any taxes. But when they retire, they may have to change their state of residency, and that means making sure that they're having state taxes withheld. Those of you who know my track record on these kind of things will not be surprised to find out that I forgot to do that. All right, the last thing to check is whether or not DFAS is paying you concurrent retired and disability pay. The short version on this is that you should be automatically receiving CRDP if you have a VA disability rating of 50% or higher. But there's a couple nuances to check. Number one, DFAS does not have an explicit line in the RAS for the amount of your CRDP. Instead, what they do is they mention it in the remarks section. Number two, you have to check that the amount of CRDP that DFAS is paying matches the amount of VA disability that VA is paying. This should be automatically synchronized, but of course it requires two federal agencies to communicate clearly, and you know how that goes. And if they don't match, they can create a huge mess, and guess who gets to clean that up? So there you go. Couple of specifics to check about 45 days after you've been retired. And this is one of those places where the Transition Assistance Program, which frankly is designed to meet DoD's goals for your transition, well, it can leave you incomplete. If you're interested in more custom timeline details, watch this video.